Hey guys, in this video I am going to theory craft about what to expect in Mistlands. The Mistland update is not coming for a long time. Unfortunately, it's been pushed back again, and there's only speculation that we can do, and we only have a limited amount of information on hints and tips of what they might actually have. Next is going to be Cult of the Wolf. It's coming out very shortly. But that is just caves in the mountains, and it's just going to be basically wolves and werewolves in the caves, and some type of new humanoid monster probably. And you know, you're going to get an item to make a new piece of set of armor or something like that along the lines. And the caves are going to be a little bit bigger than the regular caves, obviously. Well, they should be, but this is the Mistlands. You come in here, and there is nothing in here right now. Before, there used to be a whole bunch of trees and giant skulls on the ground, and of course the spider webs. What they did say is there is going to be no spiders, which I found interesting. I thought spiders would have been a good choice, but some people actually complained that if there were spiders, they were actually going to quit playing this game, which is kind of really dumb, in my opinion. Kind of lame to think that and actually do that. You know, spiders are a big part of like every type of game. But what they did say is the trees that they were going to have, you know, they were trying to come up with ideas to travel in between the trees and have stamina drain effects for doing that. So there might be some type of grappling hook to travel up to the trees and build up in there. And because they did show a effect of the ground lighting up, like my axe is here, like the ground would be lighting up around an area, and they had special effects on the actual ground. So they said that spiders were all the giant spiders in there were killed off from something worse. So that something worse might be related to lights on the ground. Some type of enemy that attacks through the ground and travels in the ground, and then when it pops up, it's going to be lit up with lights on the ground in a nice circle formation type thing. And this is where this big underground worm type creature is going to pop up and do damage. This will actually be kind of interesting if they did do something like that, because building pillars to walk around or stand on top of is pretty simple way to cheese out the mechanics of all the guys. Like you know, those are mine. But if you built a nice big pillar up and you stand on top of it, they can't hurt you, and neither can all the other guys. You got only the range you guys can hit you, and if it's big enough, you can just move back, and they can't hit you, and then you can ping them off from up there. It's a cheap tactic to use. It works very well. But if they have a guy coming from underground in Mistlands, that will negate it, because they can just travel through the ground and get you anyway. And that means all the bases that you try and build in here might get destroyed by these creatures if they feel like attacking your base and like that. And that's why they might try to be promoting bases in the trees in some manner of fashion like that. Of course, if there is a big guy on the ground, there's got to be other guys that it won't attack. So hopefully there's guys that they won't attack on the ground too, but there might not be. That could be the only creature on the ground, is that big worm guy or type of worm thing underground, and that's it. And then so you have to worry about something else. So what are they going to fill it with? I assume if there's no spiders, they're going to be filling the air with something like bats. So that's what I would be adding there, is like flying bats like they have in the mountains with those with the drakes. You'd have flying like vampire bats that fly around, and instead of like throwing something at you, they might just dive bomb you and try and suck your blood. I think they're going to be really big on stamina drain, is my guess. So they might be doing that to weaken you. And of course, this area is supposed to be filled with a whole bunch of, you know, big dead trees and huge things like that. So I'm thinking that maybe these trees that you're going to be harvesting for your new sets of your new bow, like a new type of hardwood that you're going to use to make a new bow, and some new, like, you know, root type armor they might add in there for what you're going to get, what you can expect out of armor and weapon upgrades. Since there was no weapon upgrade for the dark metal for the bows, they're going to be focusing more on that type of weaponry and armor, not the heavy armor. And for the trees, I'm thinking there might be corruptions and growth on the sides of the trees. They'll be sitting there hiding, and then all of a sudden they'll wake up when you come close, and they'll shoot you like the harpoon does. So if you ever use the harpoon and you drag stuff towards you with it, they might have attacks like that. That's what I would do if I was them. I'd put things on sides of the trees that you can't see. You walk by a tree and you don't look behind you. It's there, and it gets ready, and it shoots you with its harpoon, and it drags you towards it, and then it starts draining you and eating you alive. And then along with the bats flying around in the air, and of course the guys on the ground will make it plenty dangerous. And of course there's room for one or two other guys that they can surprise us with. Maybe maybe some big rats crawling around the trees or something like that. Who knows? Some type of monster that makes sense for like all the trees or undergrowth type thing that some big worm guy won't actually attack and eat. Maybe babies. Who knows? Baby worm guys on the ground with it. The mother worm, the big one underground, won't attack you with. So that is my guess for what's going to be happening in Mistlands when it eventually comes out, like, in the summertime, and hopefully they don't push it back even farther. But only time will tell to see if my guesses were even close, or if you like my guesses. Just leave a comment. See if you think you like my guesses or not, and then we'll find out how wrong I am, or if I'm actually close to the truth. But we won't know because the developers won't tell us in their close mouth about it. But, thanks for listening. Later.